Hi, hello, and welcome in our video. I would like to open this video with a couple of questions. Did you ever read a technical document with a lot of abbreviations and you instantly forgot them right after a couple of lines and you had to find their meaning again and again and again? Or did you ever find it confusing or ever maybe irritating when in the technical documentation different words are used to describe the same action, process, or object? Or maybe even worse, the same word is used to describe multiple different objects? If your answer is yes, you probably know what industries are dealing with. In a large complex project, when teams are working together and they are located all around the world, you probably need standardized words and spelling across a requirements management or even whole engineering lifecycle. Each word or phrase should only have one meaning and should be used consistently throughout this lifecycle. You shouldn't use the same word to describe two or more different concepts. For example, don't use agent to refer both a person and a process. And also, don't use different words to mean the same thing. Standardize on the use of one word for a particular object. Clarity is the main goal, so using a precise set of terms consistently is required. To help you with this struggle, we have Glossary Terms feature indoors next. With glossary terms, you can manage terminology and glossaries. Glossary is just a group of terms that you create to build consistent, common terminology for your project. With this feature, you can do both. You can provide the context for agreeing on consistent project terminology, as well as demystify acronyms. Hopefully, with glossary terms, you will be able to minimize misconception and miscommunication that may result into errors, frustration, and unnecessary rework. So how can we create glossary of terms? Let's jump right to some modules so I can show you that this introduction was longer and harder than actual work you need to do to create glossary terms. So I choose AMR stakeholder requirements specification for my module. I will find any requirement with some acronym. For example, I like this CSV, and I will click on this pencil icon to edit this artifact. I will highlight CSV and navigate to this icon. You see term. Clicking on term, I can create term or lookup term. Let's, for example, first lookup term. I clicked and you see there is no term starting with CSV. All right, then let's create some. Again, click on this icon and click on create term. Excellent. Now I can add initial content, comma separated values. I will leave name as CSV. And this is very important. You need to choose right artifact type that is assigned or associated with glossary terms. You see, we have just two options because in this template, someone also assigned actor as a glossary terms, but I would like to have term. I really don't know the reasoning, but I didn't change it just so you have the same template as I have. Excellent. Leave everything as default and see that this is important. So far, we probably didn't use or change any folder when creating some artifacts or changing something, but right now it is necessary because you probably have separate folder for your glossary terms, and also in this template and in this project there is pre-created folder for glossary terms, but it's not selected when you create terms. So you need to go to browse and find terms. Excellent. And right now we can click OK. Our first glossary term was created, and you see it's different right away. If you hover over CSV, you see we have our initial content here. So CSV means that it's comma separated values. We can do the same, for example, for AMR, but please, again, first look up the term. I will click on lookup, and you see there is some term named AMR, and it means automated meta reader. What is important to know is that if you create some term, this is automated meta reader, it was pre-created. So if you are using the same template, even you have this term pre-created. When you create term, not every acronym or every string is automatically associated with this term. Every single association must be done by user, at least out of the box or by default. If you really need the functionality to find all of terms and automatically create glossary terms from that, you can use our glossary terms creation widget. To learn more, just go to softacus.com and search for glossary terms creation. And this is our way of providing functionality to users when you can find all possible terms in the module and automatically make glossary terms out of it. All right, going back to the module. So once again, if you create glossary terms, it doesn't mean that all instances of the same acronym or of the same string will be associated with this glossary term. But how can you associate it even manually one by one? And it's easy. You can highlight it and again, go up here and choose a lookup term, or you see, you can use control space. So I will not use that icon, just highlight control space, and right now, by clicking on this AMR, you manually associated this string or this acronym with created glossary term. So I will jump out of this artifact, and now hovering over, you see it is automated meta reader. And you can do it again manually here. So select again, control spacebar, click on AMR, and it's done. Excellent. So you see, you need to do it manually, but I don't want to say if it's a bug or a feature. It depends on your view. There is one potential problem of assigning glossary term to every instance of this string or this acronym. When you click on this artifact and expand right panel, you see there is new link. And actually, this is the only link that is created automatically without some user input. Yeah, there was user input when creating this glossary term, but you didn't create link. This link was created automatically, and it points to the base artifact. The process is that when you are creating a glossary term, you are also creating base artifact. So I will click on this base artifact. You see it's here. And I will click on this folder. And you see the folder we selected when we were creating glossary term for CSV. In this folder, you have all other glossary terms. So what is the potential problem? The potential problem is that you are creating link for every artifact to this glossary term reference. So if you have hundreds of instances of this acronym, then you would have hundreds of new links pointing to this base artifact. Talking about potential problems, I would like to give you one tip. I will create two glossary terms, or at least I will try to. First is state of. I will highlight it, click create term, state of, excellent. And then I will create state on. Again, I will create term, state on. Now I will create second instance of this state. So state of and state on. When I will highlight this one and use control break, it found something, I can click on it and it's assigned. Let's do it with state on. Control spacebar, and it didn't found anything. How is that possible? I created state on, it's right here, state on. I created state off, it's right here, it's exactly the same. It found state off, but it didn't find state on. Unfortunately, this is limitation of Lucene, which is full text search library written in Java and used indoors, and it cannot search for this as on. As off, it can search for because for Lucene, off is a word, but for Lucene, on is preposition. But someone may say, hold on, it's not preposition, it's as underscore on. Well, unfortunately, Lucene doesn't work with special characters also. So right now, we really found limitation of this search. To see other restriction, you can go to IBM documentation, and here you see restriction of full text search. There is one more important thing I would like to mention. When you are creating glossary term, and let's create another one as a practice, I will paste content here. You need to choose artifact type, and we are using artifact type term. By default, when you are in a new component or a new project, you don't have any artifact type. I will prove it to you. This is my new empty component, and you don't have any artifact type here, not even term. So even though it is out of the box functionality, you don't have any artifact type associated with this functionality. You need to create one. It can be any artifact type, and making it term functionality, there is just one click of a button. So let's create new artifact type. And again, it doesn't have to be term. It can be called whatever. I will create glossary term just to show you that it can have different name. And about one click of a button, it is here. Use artifacts of this type as glossary term. You see, click and save. Right now, you created artifact type that can be associated with terms. In our template, we have two artifact types associated with terms. So you see actor. That's why actor was one of two artifact types that I was able to choose when I was creating term. So I will unclick it, save. And the other one is this term. I will leave it as is. Now I will navigate back to the module and I will try to create one last term. I will find some, for example, here, IEC, excellent, create term. And you see, right now, we don't have any other option, excellent. There cannot be any user error for me. This is the better way. So term, I will paste it. Okay. So that's just a little tip. If you would struggle to find term because you are in your own project or your own component and no artifact type was created for terms or glossary terms functionality, then just know that this is not done by default. You need to do it by yourself. Oh, did I mention that was the last feature? I lied, I'm sorry, but it was really unintentional. But there is one more feature I would like to mention, and I jump back to the video again so I don't forget it. So this is it. Let me define one last term here, kilometers per hour. Excellent. But some might use kph as kilometers per hour. If I will select it and control spacebar, you see I didn't find anything. But what if your use case is that your users can use both kilometers per hour with slash as well as kph? To do that, you can navigate to kilometers per hour and click on it. You see this is the base artifact for this term. You can click on edit, and here in the right sidebar you have something called alternative spelling, and you can use kph here. Click on save, click on done, and navigate back to the module. Okay, and now if I will select this one and use Control Spacebar, you see, because it is alternative spelling here, you can use it and create term. Excellent. So we have two different spellings for one term. Do you in your local language also use kmh for kilometers per hour and you would like to use that? Again, just navigate to this base artifact, click on edit, and use kmh, save, done. I will navigate back to the module, select, control spacebar. Excellent. So we have three different spellings for the one and the same term. All right, and I think this is it. Thank you for your attention in this video. I really hope it was informative for you, and I look forward to see you in our other videos.